So my name is Marc Stow of Stows Window Cleaning. I'm a single operator and owner. We are based, I say we, it's just like me, myself and I, are based over in East London, cover like the East London, West Essex area. And we do residential and commercial properties. And it's not just window cleaning, there's also like seasonal add-ons such as patio and driveway cleaning, there's gutter clearing, and coming up very soon, so we're almost at the season, Christmas lights.
Nice. So very, very mixed, because obviously I've known you on Facebook now for a good couple of years. And I think you call yourself a window cleaner. I don't know if it, because also I see a different side to you on Facebook to probably what the general public, we'll call it, see to you.
Because I don't actually identify myself as a window cleaner. I don't bracket myself as that. I think of myself as a business person, as someone that needs to generate profit. If window cleaning stopped tomorrow, I would then find something else. I'm not sort of entangled into that one profession. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's why I've tried so many different things. I don't see myself as, I don't mean to sound insulting when I use this term, but I don't think of myself as just a window cleaner. Hence why I've had branding done in the past as more than a window cleaner. I wasn't trying to take anything away from the profession when I said like just a window cleaner. I'm not trying to insult the profession. It's just I thought there was more available than just that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so speak of... Yeah, so if you want to speak a little more obviously about your branding, because your branding is obviously says it's for yourself, so I'll let you explain a little bit more. So where did your branding come from? What made you call yourself that? And yeah.
So this Stows, basically my surname. I did my first business venture was actually a mobile car wash. It's the only thing I had any experience in. So that's the first business venture. And I had the name, I tried a different names like a market research, like Crystal Clear and all this kind of stuff, right? The only one that had any votes really was Wash and Go with Stow. Obviously, turn up, wash your car, and I go. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I did actually take that into the window cleaning too. And then one day I just went, Stows. It just makes more sense. And I was using for many, many years just Stows in Comic Sans. You know Comic Sans? Type. And are you getting loads of background noise?
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's fine. So I just had like T-shirts with Comic Sans Stows on it, or across the car I just had Stows in Comic Sans. And I know a lot of like branding people don't like that. And it literally got to the point where I had a website built and they couldn't just use that. I needed a logo. So I was like, okay, well, can you make me one then? I didn't really care. I wasn't bothered. And he made me this logo, literally like the word Stows with like a roof above it. But it did look like a roofing company. But I didn't really care. I just wanted the website. Yeah. And I remember just putting on social media saying, well, I got a logo. And it was crap, to be honest. Am I allowed to swear on this, by the way?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry.
So this logo was poor. And I put it on social media. And then someone literally messaged me saying, I really don't like your logo. I've done you some more examples. They literally went off their own back and designed a complete new logo, sent me, I think, half a dozen through, different types, different colour sort of coordinations. And then that's what you see now, which is the Stows with the 2D roof on, underlined blue and green. And it's all accident. None of it was deliberate. None of it was thought through. None of it was like asking what everyone's opinion was. It was just that'll do. And now it is my brand.
Yeah, nice. I like that. And just a side thought onto that as well, because obviously I speak a lot about people setting up freelance and getting into a creative industry and stuff. And what you just said there about how somebody went out of their way, sent you some logos across, and it made an impact. That's one thing I'd recommend to anybody to do. I still do it now, where I'll find a business and their social media presence is a bit crap. I will create like a report for them and say, do this, do that, do that. It's nothing about me. It's all about the client. And that's what somebody's done for you. And the fact you've then used that logo clearly shows it's works. So it's like a little bit of a tip and advice for everybody watching, listening, to go out of your way and just do that. Don't get me wrong, you'll probably have to do it 50 to 100 times to get so many people through, but it's fully worth it at the end of it.
Nothing else to do, why not, really?
Yeah, exactly. It's the best way to get your foot in the door. So obviously, like I said before to everybody, I followed you for a while on Facebook, and the one thing I see that you do, and I love that you do, is sharing about your messages to sort of like, or not even potential clients, but people who have messaged you, and how you will say no to people, because that's another big thing that I try and get across, that not everybody is your ideal client, and how you can say no to people. And obviously you've got, I've seen obviously examples. You've got some good examples of that, where you have sort of just gone to people because, and obviously I've seen the messages before.
Oh, sorry, we just froze a little bit towards the end there.
So with obviously, when you get the messages, what sort of message do you get where you sort of just laughed at and just gone, actually, no, I'm not going to do that? Obviously, I've seen the ones on Facebook. For people watching, if you've got some examples you can share.
It's very rare that I get a message like that and don't post it on social media, because I think it is kind of it is one of my USPs as how I do business. So I think so many busy people are too busy saying, not too busy, but too quick to say yes to everyone. And I had it in me from a very, very sort of early in business age. So actually, not all business is good business. And I would rather say no to someone and then have baked beans on toast than do a job that I don't want in order to eat steak. I just wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to sell myself like that. And I wanted to always be, I'll use an analogy that I could either be like a McDonald's, be affordable for everyone and rely on mass volume, or I could be one of these one-off type restaurants that have got a 3-month waiting list. I chose the latter. So every time I think about what clients I want or respond to a client, I think, well, is this someone that would wait 3 months, or is this a McDonald's kind of person? And if it's a McDonald's kind of person, then I'm not for you. And I'm not rude to people. And you know what? I tend to find that the more honest you are with people, the more honest they are with you. And you actually find out if they do truly value what you do. So my most recent one was literally a couple of weeks ago. You probably saw it. Someone was asking me, I would clean their windows, and that there's supposedly a few neighbours that are interested too. And if they got a few together, can I get a discount? I said no. Straight up, no explanation, no. Do you want your windows done or not? This is how much it'll cost. That's it. There's no discount available. They then went on to tell everyone else that this is what it's going to cost. I think 12 replied saying that's fine. And then it took me 3 weeks to book them in. I haven't done it yet. I'm due Thursday or Friday. So tomorrow, Friday. I said, in order to get your spot on my round, you have to pay up front. I don't know these people. So therefore, they might try and knock me or give me hassle trying to get money. So I thought, right, we've got 12 people here that supposedly want their windows done. They've agreed the price. So now you've got to pay me up front. And I think last time I checked, 10 out of 12 have already paid me.
Nice.
But
I like it.
The good thing is, sorry to butt in, that's always been in the back of my mind, to be able to run a business like that. So if we'd have gone back 10 years, I would have probably jumped at that 12 flats or 17 flats, however many it was originally, and probably given them a discount too. And I probably would have got knocked, because that's happened. That's happened to me too many times. And I'm in the position now that if I didn't get any of those flats, it wouldn't have made a damn difference to me. So I could afford to be a little bit more strict on my terms. Doesn't matter if I don't get the work. I've got plenty coming in. And I always think like that. I don't get that job, the next one's coming in. So I never put too much emotional baggage, if you like, on new clients that are coming in. If they don't, so be it. Who's next?
That's the best way to be, isn't it? Because as soon as you start saying yes to everybody, that's when things start to go to shit. because certainly not everybody's your ideal client, because people will take the piss. People will end up making you spend an extra 12 hours doing something that should only take an hour, but then charging you less. Yeah, as soon as somebody asks you, can you do it cheaper, or is there discount involved, they're probably not going to be an ideal customer. And often, and I've seen the message you get where people are like, oh, well, I can go to such and such and get it for cheaper. And you've got the same philosophy as me. So I go to that person and get it cheaper then, because it's not going to be the same service. It's not going to be the same thing. There's a reason why I charge my prices. There's a reason why matey down the road charges half the price of me, and that's because of the job done. But yeah.
Especially like commercial work, when there's a lot more quotes involved. When they call me up, like my classic one was, I went out a couple of years ago. They rang me up on like a Monday afternoon, and they've got a block of, I think it was 12 flats. 10 flats it was. We want the whole block doing, and all the communal windows and stuff. And I was like, do you want the best quote, or do you want me? And she went, well, ideally we want the best quote. I said, okay, I'm not for you. Thanks for ringing. She's like, no. You've been referred to us, so we want a quote from you. Like, that's more like it. I'll be down in half hour. I got the job, still got it.
Nice. Yeah, that's certainly the best to do.
It's not arrogance. It comes across as arrogance, but it's not. It's just a real confidence in your own ability to not need every job that comes in.
Yeah. It's trusting your pricing that it's right. And if you've not got confidence in the price you're charging, other people will be able to instantly pick up on that. If it's like, oh, I charge $297 for that, but you're like, oh, I might be able to sort something out for you, clients will automatically pick up on that. And like, actually, do you know what? If he'll go down to $197, what's stopping him going down to $97? Or what's him stopping giving me an extra session for free and telling all my friends that I get a discount? So yeah, it certainly is the big thing. So one thing I wanted to ask about, because I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times, and you mentioned it obviously in a message to me as well. So I know a little bit about it, but I don't know much about it. And obviously, probably most people watching won't know much about it. And that's obviously the term that you use. Is it positive pressure? Can't even get it words. Positive pressure purchasing. That's really, really took a lot to say that.
Yeah, I can't remember what the technical term is, but when you have multiple words with the same starting letter, I just like that. I can't remember what it's called. Someone will know. Someone far more intelligent than me will know that. Something like PPP, I had to work. So what that is basically, I'm one of those people, knows a lot of people like this, that only seems to come alive. And when I mean alive in terms of energy, focus, when things are hard. So when life's hard, like I can go back quite a few times in my young life, but when times were hard, I would find completely new levels of focus and energy, determination. When things get easy, which without sounding big-headed, has been for a long time now, it's hard for me to stay focused and determined. I get a bit lazy. And then what happens is, and that could fluctuate between weeks or months, it varies. I then find myself in a position, my back up against the wall, and I've got like a week to find. And I'm like, damn, how am I back here again? But then as I'm working, I'm really enjoying it. At the end of the week, I feel so satisfied of achieving that. But then I think, damn, I've worked so hard, so focused, and I didn't stop for coffee. I took my flask, all these little things. But all I've done is pay my rent. It's like, I don't feel like it was worth it. Does that make sense? I'm putting all that extra effort in. All I've done is what I'd normally do. So I thought, right, I need to try and find that level of pressure that means that I don't stop for coffee, I don't stop for cake, I don't stop sandwiches and things like that. I do that one extra job every day, or that 2 extra jobs, or that 5 extra jobs, or a little bit of like just positive pressure. But I want to be able to do that and have something outside of my day-to-day lifestyle, which is quite good in itself, but outside of my day-to-day lifestyle, so I can look at or use or wear and go, yeah, like this top I'm wearing now. I don't need another top. And what tends to happen is on the weeks that, or the months that I'm sort of coasting along, just find stuff that I want. I then buy it and then have like buyer's regret. So I'm like, oh damn, I shouldn't have bought that. But this is different because it's now becomes a little bit of a goal. So I'll do my work and everything else during the day. I won't stop for that coffee because I want to get that shirt. Little things start to add up. And then at the end of the week, I'm like, damn, just bought a shirt. And next week, oh, I'm going to get FIFA. What am I going to get next week? I'm going to get a tattoo. All these little things. But whilst I'm aiming for these really non-essential things, everything else is really getting taken care of. That I really don't have to worry about it. But I'm also keeping my foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's basically
absolutely makes sense.
It's only a new thing. I've only discovered it. I say discovered it. I've only sort of implemented it since September because I had the same situation again in August. I was like, for Christ's sake, I've got 4 days to find 2 weeks worth of money. I did it, but then I didn't feel like I had anything to show for it. So that's why I introduced this. So I've got this list now, all these things that aren't essential, but just extra things that I want. I'll just go and buy just to keep myself like at work.
Yeah, nice. It's the best way to be because the whole like pressure thing and the fluctuating of being busy then going quiet, it's something that a lot of people do with social media. Whereas when they're really busy and got loads of work, they don't do any social media. And then as soon as they're like, oh shit, I've got no work now, they're like social media, and go crazy on it. And then it's overboard. And that's one thing that I try to teach everybody that I work with is that it's about finding that balance, isn't it? That if your work is really busy at the moment, you still need to be here. And if your work is down here, you still need to be here. And it's finding that level. And it's obviously I go back to social media because that's what I do, but it's the same with anything that you do that helps your business, that helps you grow as a person.
This definitely. What I found was kind of frustrating in myself is because the work was always there. The peaks and troughs weren't because of the economy, weren't because of the local market and the work and the workload. It was me. I was the one that was going, do you know what, 3 hours that'll do. Like so that was, I had to take control of myself in a way that kept me going, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same, and I still am now. Where like I'll have a to-do list that's only like going to take about 2-3 hours to do it, and I get that done. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play Xbox the rest of the day. And in my head, I'm like, well, no, because that's then going to affect next week and the week after. It's actually, do you know what? I'll do another 4 hours, and then I can reward myself by then doing the thing that I wanted to do. And I know a lot of people are out there who are currently doing that, and I know with probably a lot of people like under 25, my sort of age, who have been on furlough now for so long that they've got to a point where they're not doing anything, and they need to start getting back into that rhythm of like doing something and rewarding yourself for doing that. Because even it's all about rewarding, isn't it, in life? And little rewards make a difference. Like, okay, do 2 hours of that and then reward yourself with that little thing, or like you do 8 hours, do a bigger thing, and then reward yourself with a bigger thing. And I think it's about finding that like right work balance as such, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of difficult for me in a way that the lifestyle I'm living and what's available to me now is something that's completely new to me. Like I didn't even see it as a youngster or growing up, so it's almost like I don't know. It was strange. I didn't know how. Sorry, not I don't. I didn't know how to deal with it. If that makes sense. I didn't know how to deal with having a nice lifestyle and still being able to take time off. I didn't know how to do it. So always figuring myself out as time goes on. And you know yourself. As soon as you find a new level, you think you've made it. You think that's it. You're done. And you find 2 more levels. So kind of keep going in whatever way you can.
Yeah, definitely that's the case. So obviously with you, the way you are, I'm guessing that there has been sort of like mistakes that you've made on the way. But is there like a mistake that always sticks in your head of something that has been a mistake but you've learned from and has helped you grow into being bigger and better? Because obviously, like I always go back, is that little mistakes always end up being the biggest life lessons and always end up normally becoming bigger positives in the long run. So have you personally got any like a big mistake that has been made, or even a little one that has actually ended up becoming a massive positive?
Are we talking business or personal or both?
Either if there's one that stands out for you.
I think from a business perspective is I mean, it's turned out to be a massive blessing because I wouldn't be right now, of course. My biggest business mistake was putting all my eggs in one basket. So when I left employment, all I knew what to do was clean the car, basically. So I started doing that as a job, going to people's houses, places of business to clean their cars. And then I got involved with a showroom that I would literally just give them a day rate and then just go there every day. And what happened was the showroom then took over my entire schedule because there's loads of work there. I was getting paid well, and my sort of the private sort of work, if you like, the independent owners of cars, were so unreliable. But then, so for that short period of time, like for about 3 months, everything was great. I'd never earned so much money. I was free. I was in my own van. I was in my own t-shirt. I felt amazing. But then my now wife became ill, and she was like hospitalized for a few days, and I had to take 2 weeks off. They said, "Fine, that's fine. Just take care of your family. We'll have you back when you're ready." It's like, oh, thank God for that. So I'm just sitting there, quote unquote, chilling for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
I'm not looking for work. I'm not trying to do anything business related. I've got that work to go back to. So my wife is in a position to sort of come home and look after herself and look after Bracken, who's only a baby at the time. I've then gone back to the showroom and I'm like, who's that guy cleaning my cars? And yeah, they'd done me. They found someone else and was cheaper. I was done. I had nothing, not a single client. Like literally gone. I was like, hang on a minute. I can't do that. I can't do that again. So I now run my business to the extent that I don't overcommit to one person. Like even if someone said, look, I've got all these millions of blocks or houses and stuff, I wouldn't put myself in that one person's basket again. It'd be a case of like, no, I'll do that one and find someone else to do the others, like that. So now I'm very, very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm asking in that sense. And what I mean is, if I lose a customer, it won't make any difference. If I gain a customer, it won't make any difference. I have to gain either a chunk more customers, or I have to lose a chunk of customers to make it any difference either way. So that's my big business lesson: is don't put all your eggs in one basket, because it's someone else's basket effectively. Yeah, but in terms of
I agree with that.
In terms of personal experience, and it's something that I'm really trying to drill into my son, and that's character of not necessarily doing, because I was terrible. I'd only do what I wanted to do. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. But that has quite an ongoing effect and becomes a bad habit. And it's a habit that I've taken a long time to undo. Even now, I'm still trying to undo that habit. So character of just wherever it needs to be done, just do it, and just do the best you can, to be honest, rather than waiting for waiting for that right thing. Just do the best you can at this thing, whatever that thing is,
Yeah, I like that a lot as well, and it's the whole doing it now and not waiting for that thing, because there's a lot of people who are like, okay, I'll wait for that to happen, and I'll wait for this to happen, I'll wait for that to happen, and sometimes that opportunity then doesn't come, or that opportunity might come, and the next thing you're going to say is, actually, I'll wait for that then to happen and that to happen, and it just carries on. You don't end up living your life. You're always looking for that like next thing, whereas just doing it now, the thing that needs doing, and it might even be small things. And often I find the things that you're putting off end up being some of the better things. I'm really bad for saying no to doing things with friends and family. And often, as soon as you say yes to it, it ends up being some of the better things that you've done in life. And that's like a small example. And then it's the same with business. As soon as I start saying no to certain things, it starts taking effect, and then you say yes and actually go along and do it. It ends up being this massive thing. Definitely.
Example, just recently. So typically I would not work weekends. No, I didn't need to. I didn't want to, so I didn't. But just recently, especially as COVID kicked in, I opened the doors to working weekends. Not every weekend, not all day, but if I need to book you on a Sunday morning, I'll do it. It has to be a Saturday. I'll do it, providing it fits into my schedule, my family schedule, of course. So what happened was, sorry, this past Saturday, I did a job on a Saturday I wouldn't normally do. Saturday, no, but I did it, and then from that, they are, I don't know what their position is, but they work in a residential sort of care home that's got 14 flats in it. So she went, "Oh, do you want to come and price that up?" And I thought, well, I've heard this before, you know. Got down there and turned into 31 flats, like 31 residential flats. And I just thought, you know what? If I'd have said no to that, the original one flat, single flat, just because it's Saturday morning, I would have missed out on this opportunity for another 31.
Yeah.
So, like you say, sometimes you're saying yes to the things that you normally say no to, actually can open up new avenues. And I'm not going to say like these things I'm saying, I say I regret. They're just lessons that I've learned.
Yeah.
Because I'm very happy where I am now in my life. I wouldn't change any of it, how it's turned out. But I think another one, actually, going back, probably dream bigger. I think a lot of the things that kept me stale was my inability to think big enough to motivate yourself. Because when you've got like, I've now got quite big ambitions, probably to the size that I probably won't complete before I die. And that's not a bad thing. That's just a nice knowing that every day you're going out for a bigger purpose just now, and it will keep me busy for the rest of my life. So it's quite a nice feeling to have that. And I just feel if I'd have had that younger, it would have ignited the fire a lot earlier, so to speak.
Yeah, that's I suppose that falls into what Gary Vee says, obviously Gary Vaynerchuk, and that's his dream in life is to buy the New York Jets, New York Jets, I think it is. Yeah. And he's always said that goal is going to be impossible. He'll probably never reach that, but it's the journey getting to that goal which is the exciting part. Because as anybody knows, the build up to something normally is a lot better than the actual thing itself. And it's the same as me. I've got goals that I will possibly never achieve. If I achieve, I've completed my life as such, whatever. But the journey getting to that point is exciting and it's fun, and I wake up every day with a smile on my face getting to that point, because I know when I get to that point it's gonna be like, oh God, what do I do now with myself? And it's gonna be like shit.
Just tying back into what we said earlier about the positive pressure purchases, that also helps. I'm not doing it to buy a new shirt, to buy computer games, to book tattoos. It's actually that I have a sense of I'm doing the best I can every day, not posting through. And I feel good, not because I'm wearing the shirt. I feel good because I'm putting in that effort, because I've got that sort of thing that I'm going towards. It's not about the thing, it's about the person you become in the pursuit of that thing. That's the golden nugget in there.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't make me any happier. But the person I've become to go and get these things, it does make a massive difference.
Yeah, 100% makes sense. I like that a lot. So obviously, you've given everybody watching and listening a lot of sort of like lessons to take away, things to think about, and sort of like adopt, because that's the point of the podcast and these videos is sort of like inspire people, give people a different take on life, and show other people's stories, which obviously we've done. So you've given a lot of advice anyway, but if there's one sort of like one piece of advice, tip that you could give to everybody watching, listening, hopefully people will listen and take on board and make a difference, what would that be?
You know what I've learned over the years? There's never just one thing. that's the thing. There's never just one thing. I can give you a couple. Yeah. I think one is to really understand who you are. I think that's massive. I don't think enough people understand who they are, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what makes them frustrated. Really understand why you're doing or why you're going after what you're going after. Are you doing it because you've seen someone else on social media that looks happy? Like the amount of people that say to me, "Oh, you look happy. Like, you must be so happy," and things like that. I was like, how do you actually know?
Yeah,
it's the first time we've spoken. You're going purely on a picture or something I've posted, That's not to say I'm not, but how do you actually know? You don't. So a lot of people see that and go, oh, doing such and such, but they're really happy and they're doing such and such. So if I go and do such and such, I'll then be happy. It doesn't work like that. You need to understand who you are. And what's been quite is actually don't forget where you come from, because I've done that many a times. So yeah, understand yourself. Don't forget where you've come from.
I like that. The understanding yourself and not going by other people's lives is a massive difference. And the example I always give to that is obviously, as everyone knows, Robin Williams, obviously the famous actor. A lot of people refer back to that obviously he ended up committing suicide because he wasn't happy. But on paper and on social media and on films and stuff, he's the happiest guy ever. And I think that's an example that a lot of people need to look at, that regardless of what somebody's posting on social media, most of the time it's going to be utter bullshit anyway. And there's people known out there for posting with fake cars. There's a girl group in America, these influencers, and they've been called out recently because they were posting pictures in this private jet, and it was actually a studio. Yeah, I'll send you it, and I'll put it on my socials later on. But yeah, they got called out because they were taking these pictures in private jets, going, "Oh, we're flying here, flying there," and it got called out for being a studio. And they're just like a couple of examples where really don't take what people are posting on social media as their happy lives, because often people are a different person on social media. And then the flip side of that, of another bit of advice I've got for everybody, is don't be that person who's different on social media, because you can often tell if somebody's not being them true selves on social media. That's whether you have a personal brand, because often you see it often where business owners are like, "Oh, I've just earned this much and I'm this successful and I've done this and done that." But then you can look for their other posts on social media or a video they've done, and you're thinking, you know what, you're not earning as much. You're saying you're not as successful. You're saying, why are you being that? And often, like, documenting the journey to becoming successful, again, is a massive thing for everybody to do.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was. It was a shame really how it's worked out, because I'd already got to the element of success before I even went on social media. So there's a lot of the backstory that people miss, and that's why one of the reasons why. And I did say this in the vlogs that I did when COVID hit and lockdown happened. I was like, great, now I get to show you guys exactly who I am and why I'm here now in the way I am. So that was very selfish of me, of course, but I was excited by the challenge because it's now a chance to show who I was back then that got me to where I am now. I'm going to be honest, I only use social media as a highlight reel. I'll be honest. It's not because it's fake, but if I've had a good day or I bought something or I've got barbecue sauce in my beard, I'm going to share it with you. You know, if there's a problem, if I've got a problem, I don't have time to tell you guys on social media I've got a problem. I'm fucking sorting it out. That's one of the differences with me. You will never see. Well, I say never. Rarely, if ever, see me post a problem. I might say it laughs. Like I posted last week that when I was rolling up my hose reel, it went straight through dog shit. Right? That's not like a problem. That's just a bit humorous. But if there's a problem, I'm too busy trying to sort that problem out. So you won't hear about it because I won't be on social media. That's one of the differences.
There's a difference there, though, isn't there? Because you're not posting about the problem, which is fair enough. But then you're not acting like you don't have problems. That's the big difference that a lot of people do. Is my life is perfect, my life is great. I never had these issues. I never had these issues, and then they're hiding away. Whereas you don't post like that. You're not going, I've got the best life ever. I never have any issues, and then hiding away. I don't get wrong. I don't post. I'm very open on social media, but that's just because of the job I have and my personal brand. But yeah, definitely, there's a difference between keeping it a secret because it needs to be kept as a secret and you're sorting shit out, to actually going, do you know what, I don't have any problems and I'm perfect and everything counts. Whereas behind there's a load of crap. But yeah.
Oh god, not perfect. No, I don't think anything can be perfect.
No, definitely not perfect.
So as soon as you've got it perfect anyway, the tide comes in and wipes out your sandcastle. So yeah, it's not perfect, but yeah, I just tend to use it for a highlight reel, and I think people use social media for different things. Whereas my client base is face to face local. So I could turn off my social media tomorrow and it will not change my business one bit. Um, Whereas other people rely on social media to have clients, and they use that kind of like, there is a terminology for it. You probably know what it is, but I don't know off the top of my head. Where you showcase a certain level of lifestyle, they'll go, "Ah, I want some of that."
Oh no, not frozen for you.
Oh, we're back.
Back.
Are we good?
I can hear you. Oh no, they gave him frozen now, I think.
I can see you. Are we back?
Can you see me still? Yeah, I think you're back now. It froze and the volume cut out.
I bet it's my son just logged onto the PlayStation. Just blame him. So, what did you hear up to?
Literally, as you started speaking, then as soon as you started your sentence, it just cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is, I don't know what the terminology is. You probably do. But in a marketing sense, that you showcase a lifestyle, which then encourages people to buy into the product that you're offering. So I don't need to do that because my audience isn't online. So I tend to use social media for two reasons. One is a portfolio, really, of business and how things are developing. But also, absolutely love Facebook memories. So when it comes up, you did this 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, damn, do you remember when we stayed in that hotel? Or, oh, do you remember when we was at that thing? I know it's lazy because you should just go and get a bloody photo album. I think we don't tend to, I know I don't tend to look back through photos. But when Facebook goes, oh, did you know? Do you remember when you did this? I'm like, oh, yeah, that was brilliant. So that's another reason why I do sort of lifestyle posts quite a lot, is because I like to see in 5 years' time what I was doing now, because I'll forget. I'll be too busy doing what I'm doing then, and I'll completely forget. But I've noticed how much weight I put on, not because of my shirt, but because of Facebook memory popped up. I go, damn, I was slim.
I suppose what because obviously you don't rely on social media for your business, but I suppose what you're doing without, maybe to start off without realizing you're doing, was obviously building a personal brand at the same time, because people are coming to you people are obviously looking at what you're doing. And sometimes, often, and you'll have with social media as well, is you're probably helping people without realizing you're helping people, because there's people who don't like, there's people who don't comment, there's probably people who've never even spoken to you before, but like watching what you're doing on social media and going, actually, do you know what? Yeah, that motivates me, that helps me. I'm probably one of the worst people for it as well. Is I've got 4 or 5 people that I follow on like Facebook and Instagram. I've never commented on any of their stuff, but they've motivated me without even realizing. And that's probably the sort of thing that goes on as well, because it's like you said, that I live in East Yorkshire, so I'm never going to come to you to have my windows done or anything like that. But obviously I've got you on there because of the stuff you post, and you are quite motivational and you're quite funny with the things you post, going back to obviously that ideal client stuff.
It's fascinating what people do find funny. And when I try not to, so I went through a stage where I did quite like the idea of motivating, inspiring, and sort of coaching and consulting people. And I kind of tried. I tried to make my posts in that vein, and it just didn't do anything. When I kind of like, in a sense, gave up and just posted what the fuck I wanted to, without giving a damn of people's response from it, I then started getting messages. Like, I don't post, I don't put like, I don't comment, I don't want people to know, but I really like your post, and that's really helped me, and you're a breath of fresh air, especially during like COVID. I've had a lot of messages, people that don't normally interact with me on social media, that have said that behind the scenes, which is great, isn't it? If people can take value from it and help them in some way, then great.
Yeah, 100%.
In some way, we all look up to someone, even if it's not directly in our industry, or it could be a relative, or it could be some industry that we really inspire to, even though it's not even our. So yeah, I think it's just a positive effect. I think ripple effect.
Yeah, definitely 100%. All right. Well, I think that that's obviously everything. We've had quite a little podcast now. There's a lot to go from for people watching, listening. A lot of sort of like things to take away from there. You've learned a lot more about Marc that people probably wouldn't have known. Because obviously, if this goes on your socials, my socials, be people who know you already, you probably learned a little bit about it. Obviously, more about you anyway, and that hopefully will inspire people and show that there is different routes and different people go through different things to get to where they are now, and that everybody's goals are completely different.